If you say this, no woman will resist. Let's get one thing straight. Words do have power. And if you think attraction is only about looks, money, or status, you're playing the wrong game. The truth? A man who knows what to say and how to say it can walk into a room and instantly pull attention, even from women who normally wouldn't give him a second look. Now here's the part that may ruffle a few feathers. Most guys talk themselves out of attraction, not because they're unattractive, not because they don't have game, but because they say all the wrong things. They try too hard, they over-explain, they chase, they impress, and guess what? Women can smell that weakness from a mile away. But here's the twist. There are certain things, certain phrases, said in the right tone, at the right time, that hit different. Words that slide past her logic, straight into her emotions. Words that don't scream, "Pick me," but instead say, "I know exactly who I am, and you're lucky I'm talking to you." Sound cocky? Maybe. But confidence, real, grounded, unshakable confidence, is the most attractive thing a man can wear. And in this video, I'm going to give you 10 things you can say that no woman can resist, if you say them the right way. This isn't about being manipulative. It's about understanding psychology, emotion, and the power of masculine presence. So if you've ever felt ignored, rejected, or like you don't know what to say, listen up, because after this video, you'll never run out of words again. 1. You're not as complicated as you think. This statement is bold. It challenges a woman in a way she doesn't expect. You're not insulting her, but you're definitely not putting her on a pedestal either. And that's exactly why it works. Most men try to impress women by constantly agreeing with them, overanalyzing their moods, or saying things like, "Wow, you're so deep," or "I've never met anyone like you." While that might sound nice, it actually comes off as predictable and even a little desperate. But when you say, "You're not as complicated as you think," you instantly flip the script. You're showing her two things. You're not intimidated by her. You see through the drama and emotional games, and that's attractive. This statement lightly challenges her ego without being rude, and women are wired to respond to challenges. It sparks curiosity. It makes her want to prove that she is complicated, that she is special, and just like that, she's engaging with you on your terms. But remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Say it with a relaxed smile, calm voice, direct eye contact. You're not attacking her, you're teasing her confidence, and confident women love that energy when it comes from a man who clearly knows who he is. 1. Let's say she's ranting about how nobody understands her. Most guys would nod, agree, and say something like, "Yeah, you're so unique." But instead, lean back, smile a little, and say, "You're not as complicated as you think. You just like the mystery." Then pause, let it sink in. She'll either laugh, raise an eyebrow, or try to challenge you. All three are wins, because now she's reacting to you. And that, right there, is when the attraction begins. 2. I don't chase, I attract. This one flips the entire dating game on its head. Most men are stuck in chase mode, texting first, double texting when she doesn't respond, begging for her time, trying to prove they're good enough. But here's the truth. Chasing screams insecurity, and women pick up on that energy instantly. When you say, "I don't chase, I attract," you're sending a message that you are the prize, that you're not desperate, you don't beg, you're not chasing approval, you're in your zone, doing your thing, and anyone who fits into your life is welcome, but not needed. This mindset is powerful because it creates magnetic confidence. Instead of forcing your way into someone's world, you pull them into yours. And no, it doesn't mean you never show interest. It just means you don't chase people who show hesitation. You match energy. You value your time. You let women wonder about you, invest in you, and earn your effort. When you carry this energy, everything about you becomes more attractive. Your silence, your mystery, even your walk. Women want to figure you out, and that is when the tables turn. But again, the delivery matters. You don't say this with arrogance. You say it with calm certainty, like a man who's walked away from drama before and is perfectly fine doing it again. 2. Let's say she's playing hard to get, taking hours to reply or acting cold. Most guys would start trying harder, asking, "Are you okay?" or "Did I do something wrong?" Instead, the next time she reaches out, reply with, "I don't chase, I attract. You either feel the vibe or you don't." Then stop talking. No follow-up texts, no nervous energy, just confidence. If she's genuinely interested, she'll come back with more effort. If not, you've just avoided wasting time on someone who didn't value you. Either way, you win. And that's the power of not chasing. 3. I like you, but I don't need you. Now this one, it hits deep, because most men won't even dare to think it, let alone say it. We've been conditioned to believe that if we really like a woman, we have to bend over backwards to keep her, cancel our plans, overgive, prove ourselves. And if she pulls away, we panic, thinking we're losing something valuable. But let's pause for a second and be real. How many times have you liked a woman only for her to start pulling away the moment you got too available? You thought being nice and consistent was the way to go, but somehow she got bored. That's because neediness kills attraction. Now, when you say, I like you, but I don't need you, what you're really saying is, I'm whole, I'm centered. I'm not looking for someone to complete me, I already am complete. This attitude is rare, and it's magnetic. Because here's the truth most guys ignore. Women don't want to be needed. They want to be wanted. Needing her creates pressure. Wanting her creates freedom. She should feel like you enjoy her company, but you're perfectly fine without it. Like you value her, but your world doesn't collapse if she disappears. This mindset protects your peace, your energy, and your identity. It makes you less reactive. It keeps you from overthinking. And most importantly, it keeps you grounded in your power as a man. And guess what? When you hold this energy, women feel it. They feel the lack of pressure, the calm confidence, the emotional self-control. It makes them want to be around you, to invest, to prove they're worth your time. Not because you're playing games, but because you're not a man who crumbles over a pretty face. You're a man with standards. So say it with confidence. I like you, but I don't need you. It might just be the most powerful boundary you ever set. 4. You're not the only one who gets attention. Let's be honest, a lot of men hand over all their power the moment they get attention from a beautiful woman. They act like she's doing them a favor just by replying to a message or giving them her number. Suddenly she becomes the center of their world and they start walking on eggshells, afraid to lose her. But here's a reality check. She's not the only one who turns heads, and you're not invisible. The problem is that most men act like they have no other options. They make a woman feel like she's the prize, and that if she leaves, they'll fall apart. That's weak energy, and it doesn't inspire respect. Let's be real. A lot of guys need to wake up. Stop worshiping women just because they're attractive. You're a man. You've got value too, whether it's your drive, your mindset, your presence, your vision, but none of that means anything if you don't act like you know it. When you say, you're not the only one who gets attention, you're reminding her, and yourself, that this is mutual, that you're not sitting in the corner hoping to be chosen. You have options. You're choosing to engage, not begging to be seen. This statement instantly shifts the dynamic. It levels the playing field. And believe it or not, many women respect that kind of energy because it shows you won't tolerate emotional games, hot and cold behavior, or being treated like a backup plan. It's not about being arrogant. It's about being self-aware. You know your worth, you know your effect, and you're not afraid to act like it. So here's the advice. Stop acting like women are doing you a favor by talking to you. Hold your head up. Carry yourself like you've got options because you do. If you don't believe it yet, it's time to start. 5. Tell me something real. No filters. This phrase is powerful, not because it's flashy, but because it's rare. In a world where everyone is hiding behind masks, pretending to be perfect, or rehearsing their every move to look impressive, this hits differently. Let's be honest, most guys talk to women like they're reading off a script. Where are you from? What do you do? That's cool. I like that too. It's robotic. It's safe. And guess what? It gets ignored. Women don't remember those conversations. They've heard them 100 times. What they do remember is the man who made them feel like they could drop the act. A man who didn't need to impress them, but instead made them want to open up. That's what "tell me something real, no filters" does. It challenges her, in a good way. You're telling her, I'm not here for the performance. I want the real you, not the Instagram version, not the sweet, polished, media-trained version, the messy, raw, human part of you. That instantly creates curiosity. Women love to be seen, but more than that, they love to be understood. And when you say this phrase with calm, genuine energy, it shows you can handle realness. You're not fragile. You're not just here for shallow compliments or fake laughs. But here's the catch. If you say this and then act shocked or uncomfortable when she opens up, you lose all credibility. You have to be ready for real talk, for emotions, for opinions, for a glimpse into the parts of her she doesn't show most men. And the truth is, that's what makes you unforgettable. So next time you're in a conversation that's going nowhere fast, break the pattern. Look at her and say, "Tell me something real, no filters." Say it like you mean it, and watch the wall come down. 6, I decide who gets my time. This one isn't just a phrase, it's a standard, a boundary, a mindset shift that separates boys from men. Too many guys give their time, energy, and attention to anyone who gives them a little validation, a smile, a hey, or a flirty text, and suddenly they're rearranging their whole day for her. That's the mistake. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. When you act like your time is cheap, people treat it that way, including women. When you say, "I decide who gets my time," you're taking back your power. You're not rude, you're not arrogant, you're just intentional. You're not available to everyone, and that includes women who expect you to chase without offering anything meaningful in return. This phrase shows that your time isn't up for grabs just because she's attractive. It tells her you don't move based on looks alone, you move based on value, on how someone treats you, on how someone fits into the life you're already building. And that's exactly what high-value men do. They live with purpose. They protect their schedule. They don't cancel their plans just to maybe hang out. They make decisions based on standards, not feelings. Now here's what makes this phrase powerful. It flips the script. Instead of trying to prove you're worth her time, she now has to wonder if she's worth yours. And that shift, it changes everything. Women are used to being the ones who get chased, but when they meet a man who makes them qualify themselves with confidence, not arrogance, they pay attention, they respect it, and if they're truly interested, they'll step up. So don't just say it, live it. Make your time valuable by working on yourself, your goals, your peace. And then remind her, I decide who gets my time. Not out of ego, but out of self-respect. 7. You're cute when you're wrong. Now this one, it's playful, but it's dangerous in the best way. Why? Because it challenges her. It teases her confidence, and it shows that you're not afraid to disagree, while keeping things light and flirty. Too many men make the mistake of always agreeing with women just to stay on their good side. They nod, smile, and go along with whatever she says, thinking, if I just agree with her, she'll like me more. Wrong. That's how you end up in the friend zone. Women don't want a yes man. They want a man who can stand his ground, challenge them, and still make them laugh in the process. When you say, you're cute when you're wrong, you're doing exactly that. You're disagreeing, but with charm. You're holding your frame without turning it into an argument. That's rare. That's powerful. It also shows you're not emotionally reactive. You're not offended by disagreement. You don't need to win the debate. You're just having fun and confident enough to flirt through it. This kind of playful tension builds attraction fast. It creates a back and forth energy that most guys are too afraid to step into. They worry about being too much or offending her. But women are emotional creatures. They love being mentally and emotionally stimulated by a man who knows what he's doing. But of course, delivery is everything. Say it with a smirk, say it when she's obviously passionate about something, even if she's dead wrong. You're not being mean, you're being unbothered, cool, teasing, in control, and if she pushes back, laughs, or playfully argues, perfect. That means she's engaged. That means you've stepped out of the safe, boring category and into the memorable one. So the next time she starts passionately making a wrong point, just smile and say, you're cute when you're wrong. Game on. 8, don't worry, I can handle you. This phrase walks a fine line between confidence and control. And that's exactly why it works. We live in a time where a lot of women feel the need to be strong, independent, unbothered, and even a little difficult on purpose. Why? Because they've learned that most guys can't handle real intensity. A little attitude, a little challenge, a little emotional chaos, and the average guy either shuts down or runs away. But when you calmly say, Don't worry, I can handle you. You send a signal straight to her core. You're not afraid of her fire. You're not overwhelmed by her energy. And you're not going to fold just because she has a strong personality. You're telling her, bring the storm if you want. I don't break. I don't beg. I don't chase validation. I lead. And believe it or not, that's exactly what many women are looking for. A man who can remain unshaken even when she's testing him. Because let's be real, women test. They push buttons, not because they're evil or manipulative, but because deep down, they want to feel safe with a man who can hold his ground. Saying this phrase, and meaning it, tells her that emotional depth doesn't scare you. Mood swings don't scare you. Her independence doesn't scare you. In fact, you welcome it, because you're grounded in your own masculinity. But here's the key. Don't just say it for the effect. You actually have to be that guy. The guy who doesn't get pulled into drama, the guy who doesn't take everything personally, the guy who can listen, respond, lead, and remain cool under pressure. That's the difference between being a player and being a man. So the next time she says, I'm a lot to handle, look her in the eyes and say, don't worry, I can handle you, and then prove it. 9. I don't impress, I express. This right here is a mindset shift, a whole new way of operating. Most guys spend their time trying to impress women, flashing status, exaggerating achievements, name-dropping, flexing money, or reciting smooth lines they heard on social media. And guess what? It never feels real. It comes off as try-hard, insecure, and even desperate. Women can smell it from a mile away. But when you say, I don't impress, I express, you're showing a completely different level of self-awareness. You're saying, I'm not here to win you over. I'm here to show you who I am. If that resonates with you, cool. If it doesn't, I'm still good. That kind of energy, it's rare and incredibly attractive. It means you're not putting on a mask. You're not adjusting yourself just to be liked. You're not trying to fit into her expectations. You're just being without apology. And that's what makes you stand out. Because here's the truth. Women don't fall for perfect men. They fall for authentic men. Men who are bold enough to say what they believe, share what they love, own their flaws, and not care who approves. I don't impress, I express means you don't perform for validation. You create connection through honesty. It means your confidence comes from within, not from applause. This doesn't mean you don't take care of yourself or that you stop growing. It means everything you do, how you dress, how you speak, how you move, comes from your truth, not from a place of overcompensation. Women respect that because it's refreshing, it feels solid, it feels safe, and it builds real chemistry, not fake attraction. So stop trying to be what you think she wants. Be who you are, fully, clearly, confidently. And when she says, you're different, just smile and say, I don't impress, I express, and mean every word. 10. Be careful, I'm hard to replace. This phrase is bold, it drips with confidence, and that's exactly why it gets attention. Most men live in fear of being replaced. They walk on eggshells, they play it safe, they overgive just to be kept around. But here's the truth. When you think like that, you're already losing. Saying, be careful, I'm hard to replace, flips the mindset. You're no longer begging to be chosen. You're reminding her that you bring value and that walking away from you has consequences. Not because you're perfect, but because you're rare. This statement works because it plants a seed in her mind. If I lose him, I might not find someone like him again. And that seed grows when you live like it's true. You have standards. You carry yourself with discipline. You lead, you protect your peace. You express yourself without fear, and you know how to walk away when you're disrespected. That kind of man, very hard to replace. But don't say this with ego. Say it with clarity. Quiet strength. Like a man who's seen the cycle before and isn't afraid of being alone. Like a man who values himself enough to walk, with his head high. Because when a woman sees that you know your worth, she doesn't want to lose you. So say it with confidence, calmly, no emotion, no threat, just truth. Be careful, I'm hard to replace. And let that statement speak for itself. Conclusion. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. The man who knows his worth will always be more attractive than the man who only knows how to please. And that's the difference between men who get chased and men who get used. Most guys spend years trying to figure out what to say to women. But the real game changer isn't just the words, it's who you are when you say them. Because the most irresistible thing you can say is said by a man who doesn't need the woman to stay. That's the energy you carry when you use the lines in this video. Not from a place of manipulation, but from grounded confidence, masculine presence, power. Here's my controversial truth. If you're still afraid of losing her, you haven't fully become the man she's afraid to lose. Let that sink in. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you've experienced, what worked, what failed, what's confused you. I'm in the comments, and I want to connect with real men having real conversations. Let's grow together. Let's build better men.